loss, and wellness. I'm your host, Coach Monica. I'm joined today by Coach Darcy, and we are here to guide you through the ins and outs of a lifestyle that's transformed not just our lives, but the lives of countless women navigating the waves of perimenopause and menopause. Whether you're here to shed weight, understand your body better, or simply find a community that gets it, you're in the right place. So sit back and enjoy the next few minutes as we tackle the hot issues of today. Good morning.
Morning.
I had a record of all records. I did all of my sharing in the intro. That's
What?
crazy
Well, mine didn't
fast.
pop up. I would have loved to do that.
I know. Typically, it takes too long to pop up onto my Facebook page, but today we are live on Addiction Recovery Group as well as my personal page. Good
Wow.
morning, everybody.
That's impressive. I'm just gonna I'll
Yeah.
do my
Take your time.
doodad and
Take your time.
I'm done.
Because we almost missed the show today. So
No, we were on time.
we were on
We
time.
were just in different rooms
We were chatting,
and
talking
chatting.
about, the weather. Speaking of the weather, if everything goes blank today, just know we love you and we'll see you next Tuesday. We're in the middle of a tornado kind of type weather up here, and it's green outside.
That makes sense why your coloring is a little off.
Yeah, things are flying by the window.
Cows.
I think I saw one of those sharks from Panama City. What is with you guys in Florida, by the way? What in the world is happening in Florida? We've got killer riptides. We've got killer sharks. They're everywhere. What's going on, Florida?
Sharks? That's right.
Sharks.
Killer
Yeah.
sharks.
Like they live in the water, but they're
starving.
aggressive right now. My daughter-in-law told me it was because of the orcas. Because that's their only predator, and the orcas are pushing them into shore.
Well, why are the orcas being mean?
Well, they're killer whales, right?
Yeah, they are
don't
killer.
know.
I mean, but why are they doing that?
I don't know.
Interesting.
You don't know about
Nature.
these things, but Florida, get it under control so that we can come there on vacation. I like the beach.
Don't
Oh,
mind me. I'm filling out. Here's the thing. No, I'm not,
I'm
because
just waiting on you.
I'm on our website
Uh-huh.
right now and giving some feedback. So, hey, if you ever have any questions and you're on our website, we
Giving
have this really
feedback?
cool thing. Yeah, I'm talking to somebody right
We're doing a live. Come
It's
back.
okay. You keep talking.
Come back. So today, last week, no, really, come back.
I am here. I'm here. I just had to,
last week we had a lot of complaints from our male audience last week, but you know what? They'll get over it. They will get over it.
Who complained?
Oh,
Send them to me.
the guys, they're just like, well, I don't know if we need to listen to the podcast today or not, because you were talking
That's
to
bogus.
women last week. But yeah, we were talking to women last week.
We talked to you too. We talked to that you have 24 hours of hormones. If they were listening, they would have heard that.
Yeah. Raise your hand if you heard that. Raise your hand, guys. Did you hear that?
I said it.
You have
I remember saying
24
it.
hours of hormones.
That's
Women
it.
have 28 days.
So ours is going to take longer to discuss.
Took a little longer. Yeah.
Stop drinking from plastic bottles, guys. Done. It's done.
We would have the shortest podcast ever.
If we done.
Hey, let's talk about something. So we're going to bring it down a couple notches today. We're going to talk about an annoying topic tonight. Tonight. It looks like tonight because it's really dark outside.
Well, for me, it's today.
So yeah, we're in the same time zone. So we're going to talk about why focusing on the scale is a death knell to your health journey. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. Yeah. But let's unpackage for a couple of seconds how we're doing, like on carnivore. So we haven't given an update in a while. Some people think we've just left it, and we're just gone. So let's give a quick update. How are you feeling?
I don't know if mine is quick. So I completed my first month of my experimentation, and I can just tell you right now, my fingers feel tight, and I don't like that my fingers feel tight.
Are you
But
on the hormone phase?
well, no, now I'm switched over to
Okay.
phase 1. So
Okay.
I've done a whole month of this, and I don't feel terrible.
Mhm.
I didn't gain,
Because
except for
let's explain to the audience, you
okay.
just came from the
Yes.
hormone feeding. So Darcy's doing a little bit
Yes.
of a different
Yes.
program. I'm just doing carnivore. So
Yes.
nothing's changed for me. Coach Darcy's doing a biohack, and she's testing the hormone
Our what do we
feeding
call it?
program
Yeah. What do we
with
call it? What do we call it?
I don't know.
Uh,
It was really
ageless
cute.
ageless carnivore, that's what
Ageless
it ageless
carnivore.
carnivore,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
So
Yeah.
she's just come from 2 weeks of hormone feeding, which
Mhm.
she had to up her carbs a lot.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a background.
And I chose lower toxic
Mhm.
foods as well. I also ate a lot of Russian Russian sunflower seeds because I was at the ball field. And when you're at the ball field, people
Mhm.
know that you need sunflower seeds. And so I bought some Russian sunflower seeds
Mhm.
with nothing on them. And so we went through some of those. But that was the only thing that was on the toxic type ish
Darce,
level.
you had tried,
Yes.
forgive me if I misinterpret, but you had tried doing a really high carb with the starchy vegetables, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
you just did
Yeah.
you were complaining to me big time.
It did because so I had, what you would in America, a regular size sweet potato, and I air fried it.
Mhm.
And I tested my glucose right after I ate it because I forgot to do it before I ate it. So I right after I ate it, and I was talking with you. We actually did a podcast. It seemed like it took 2 hours.
Mhm.
2 hours later, I tested my glucose again after.
Mhm.
It went from 90, which is great,
Right.
to 124 2 hours later with the
2
sweet potato.
hours.
2 hours
Okay.
later, yeah.
Wow.
And I I was felt fine. Just knew that my glucose spike was tremendous.
Mhm.
So there was that, and then I
And you
tried a
just didn't feel
potato.
good. You
I
kind of
didn't
felt
feel good. I felt
cloudy.
heavy. I
Mhm.
felt not like heavy as in like my
Mhm.
body felt just weighed down,
Mhm. Right.
and so I don't know if it's because, like, that was, like, one of the first type of carbs that I've had for a
Mhm.
month, but, I decided if I were to do sweet potatoes, I was actually going to do the sweet potato chips that are made with coconut oil,
Mhm.
and I ate those and I felt fine.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have
Yeah.
any bloating in it, any gas, so it's the same type of food, but their
Yeah.
processes, they were cooked, they were probably cooled down, and then they were probably or they weren't cooked until they were cooked
Right.
in
Right.
oil. So,
Well, and
anyway.
the point of your journey is sometimes you got to experiment.
Yes.
Sometimes, we know where we want to go. We understand why we're doing the hormone feed. We wanted to build progesterone, right? We wanted to
Yes.
make the world fine for you.
Mhm.
And sometimes you got to tweak it. So a lot of
Yeah.
people what they do, we're going to talk a little bit about this today. A lot of times what they do is they say, "Oh, that didn't work, so I'm going to quit." Ah, that didn't work,
Right,
and then
right.
they quit. And
Mhm.
and they don't give themselves time to heal.
Yes.
So yeah. So now
Mm.
you're back on the keto biotic.
I'm going carnivore. Like, right
Yes.
now, I'm carnivore.
Yes.
So, the great thing about, these stages that we work on is that when you are in phase 1, you go ketobiotic, which is
Mhm.
lower carb. You're keto with lower carbs. You don't eat any of the garbage. We do God's natural foods,
Mhm.
and for me, I'm thinking, okay, I want to go like almost as if I'm fasting, but with
Yeah.
just meat. So that's kind of what I'm working on.
Yeah.
Again, seeing again, like the way I felt going into the cycle was a little different. Like I
Mhm.
felt things more
Yeah.
going into the cycle, but
Yeah.
I want to be able to make make the weight loss in the way my body feels on carnivore kind of combine.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I wanna be able to, see what it's like to do weight loss on the ageless keto, um, with not necessarily fasting, but
Right.
with carnivore.
With carnivore. Yeah, getting the eating under
Yeah.
control first. We
Yes.
never start our clients out with fasting right away.
No.
Same as I would never start a new client on carnivore right away.
Mhm.
I wouldn't do it. So,
Right.
I was thinking today, especially with our topic that we're talking about today, I was thinking today, how passionate I am about helping people find a permanent way out.
Yeah.
There are so many crazy diets right now. I am just seeing my Facebook feed flooded with stupidness.
Yeah.
And Optavia being the
Yeah.
one of the biggest ones. I'm seeing that it's like
You
it
know
goes around
what?
in fads.
I was gonna
Now
say they probably know how much you loathe it, and so it just
so
wants
they
to
put,
see like, "Look at this.
"Hey Monica, we're
Hey, look at
giving our
this.
clients 800
Look
calories."
at this."
Ha, they're losing weight. Of course they're losing weight. You're starving them. My gosh. It's
Right.
it's like it goes in waves. And then what happens? We've got 8 people right now on the Optavia recovery program because they've
Mm.
killed their metabolism
Yeah.
and they have gained. I have one client, she's gained actually she just graduated, gained to 30 pounds back when she came back. And it was just like she's like, "Please help me. I'm only eating 1200 calories and I've gained 30 pounds." I mean, it's just insanity.
Yeah.
And so I will, somebody said to me one day, they said, "Monica, shouldn't we all support each other?
Mhm. Mhm.
And shouldn't we health coaches because we all want the same thing for our clients?" And I said, "Absolutely, unless you starve your people. Unless you give your people poison, absolutely." I have a lot of holistic health coaches that are beautiful friends of mine who, teach a different way, and they have different tactics and they have different things they do with their clients. I'll stand arm in arm with those people. I will not with starvation diets. I will
Right.
never do that.
Nope.
So the scale has hurt these people,
Mm.
right? So the fake weight loss that comes with the shots and with the starvation diets, it's linked to this thing called the scale, because the scale in their eyes is a method of success. The scale in their eyes falls so quickly that they think if they lose a pound a week, then they better quit because they're not good enough. So we get these recovering diet addicts, that come into our program and look at the scale and say, "Well, you guys we're only losing a pound a week. And so I better, it's not working for me. So I better go get one of those other fake diets that do work."
Mhm. Mhm.
And so we're going to talk about what happens when we focus solely on the scale. They don't see what's happening on the inside, and we're going to talk about that today. But the scale sometimes is our number one enemy. Every health coach loves a great success story. They love to say, "My clients have lost 20,000 pounds."
Mhm.
I don't give a rip about that anymore. What I care about is my clients he's still living a healthy life 7 years later. They
Yeah.
still kept the weight off 7 years later, and they're not on any stupid medication, right? So when they come to us, panicked, because they've gained the weight back, or because they're just starting their journey. Maybe they're just starting their journey and they're like, "My friends who are on the shot are losing, 20 pounds a week. What's wrong with me?" Friend, they're not going to keep that off. They're not going to keep that off. And so I want to talk about, there's five different things we want to talk about. We want to talk about the superficialness of it. We want to talk about the metabolic health. We want to talk about the mind, because I will not talk about a lifestyle without
Right.
talking about the mind. We're
Mhm.
going to talk about sustainability, and then we're going to give some practical tips at the end. Okay. So I want to encourage our audience today to look way beyond the scale. If you look at the scale, you'll quit next Tuesday, because the scale is fickle. The scale gives you a moment of time where your body has a certain amount of gravity at that certain time, right? It does not tell you the entire story. So, Dars, let's talk about the first one, the superficial success. So, the initial weight loss, our client, and this even happens to our clients when they come to us and they detox in that initial 8-pound weight loss,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
um, that kind of gives them an idea that this is how it's going to go the rest of the time.
Yeah.
And then what happens after that?
I almost wish that it wouldn't do that.
Mhm.
Only
Mhm.
because what they're doing is they're losing the water weight, and they know that deep down
Right.
inside. They
Right.
know that, oh, this normally happens. If I, am
Mhm.
normally doing one of my weight loss diets, I lose 10 pounds up front.
Mhm.
And that is because that's the water weight. It's the
Mhm.
inflammation. It's all those things that have built up. And, when you go low carb, you're not eating the carbs that retain the water. So
Mhm.
now that you're eating lower carb, then that is gone. So that's going
Mhm.
to automatically go ship
Yeah.
out outside the door.
Yeah. So you'll
So
see quick drops on the scale right away,
mhm.
right?
Yeah. And again, like I said, I almost wish that it wouldn't do that because it's giving them false hope that, oh,
Mhm.
this is what's going to be like. This is like all these other diets. And this is, but
Mhm.
the thing that they're missing out on is how the weight loss is making them feel
Mhm.
um, initially. Like they
Right.
might have clarity in those first 2 weeks, and they're missing
Mhm.
out on that because all they're doing is they're showing or they're
Mhm.
seeing that scale be 10 pounds or 15 pounds
Yeah.
lighter.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen for everybody. That, if they don't have a lot of weight to lose, that's probably not going to
Mhm.
happen for them. They might lose,
No.
5 pounds or so.
Right.
But if they have a lot of weight to lose, then yeah, like they're going to
Mhm.
see big difference. And so then that's where that comparison
Yeah.
starts to come in.
Yeah.
And they're comparing, well, I lost 10 pounds or the other person that may be lighter. And this happened with our last group, our
Mhm.
carnivore group, where some
Mhm.
people lost a lot of weight up
Mhm.
front and some of them were like, I've like 2 pounds.
Yeah.
For me, it was like only 1 pound
Yeah.
and everybody else was losing 10.
I have 2
Um,
clients right now who the scale hasn't budged at all. In a month, they've gone down 6 inches.
and yeah,
And
so
I finally just took the scale away. I'm just
yeah,
like, "You know what?
right,
We're not even gonna measure, so all we do is clothes right now."
right,
And we do measurements and we do, pictures. It
right,
is amazing to see how these people have changed. And I've taken the scale away because it's
right.
superficial. It's just,
Before they
I
would
like
have
to
given
use it
up.
as yeah, exactly. Now, on the other side of things, we have clients where we mandatorily make them weigh in because they go off plan so many times and the only way to hold them accountable is to know that if I go off plan and if I live my life however I want, that scale's going to go up. And there's so we
Yeah,
do the opposite as well, where we have people drop in a picture of their scale just so we know that that number is holding them accountable so they don't go, go off plan.
right.
A lot of my addiction clients I have do that. So it just depends on the person. The scale
Yep.
depends on the person entirely. But the scale also does not address the underlying issues like what happens in a plateau
Mm,
when you have a plateau. It's not a matter of if you have a plateau,
it's
it's a matter of
when.
when. And so
Yeah.
if you're looking at that scale expecting it to go down a certain amount every week, you're not accounting for what happens when you have that plateau. When they have the plateau, they quit because that's what we do. When we're
Mhm,
mad, we quit.
mhm,
When things aren't working our way, we quit. We quit before everything. Before I tried carnivore, this last go round, I quit every time. Every time I'm like, because I saw that scale go up 5 pounds. Every time I would try it, it did. Well, this time I didn't quit. And what happened was the scale dropped and stayed down. So
mhm.
that initial increase on the scale would make me quit every time.
Right. And that didn't happen just to you. Like
Mhm.
with this, we
Right.
noticed that it happened to a majority
Yeah.
of the people doing this,
Yeah. I'd like to know
the
the science
carnivore.
behind that. Why
I
why do you
know.
gain 5 pounds when you first start carnivore and then it comes off and
Yeah.
drops?
I don't
But
know.
when you depend on the superficial success of a scale, you're going to quit when you reach that plateau. You're just
Mhm.
going to quit. And then number 2, the metabolic health. You know, focusing on calorie restriction and the scale only when in this, I'm telling you what, we are going to see a massive epidemic when it comes to this weight loss shot
Yeah.
and Optavia, both of them. They're both the same because they're 800, they're eating 800 calories,
Yeah.
1000 calories. Um, Nutrient deficiencies. We are going to see an epidemic when it comes to the overall health of people who are it's malnourishment is what it
Mhm.
is, you
Mhm.
know?
Yep.
Hormonal. Do you want to talk about the hormone
Right.
instance?
So what we don't think about is in the main cause of, in my opinion, this might not be my opinion, but I believe that the main cause of hormonal imbalance is the stress that we put on our bodies.
Mhm.
With the the ups and the downs of the scale, like
Mhm.
what we're putting in our body, what we're taking away from our body. That's a stressor, and
Mhm.
it's imbalancing the hormones in our body. We have a lot of hormones that need each other to balance each other out.
Yeah.
Whether it be about the sleep hormones or the dopamine, like the happy
Mhm.
brain hormones, or your sex hormones, all of those
Mhm.
things depend on each other. And when we are putting these stressors in our life, the chaos, we are I'm going to point out this book, The Rushing Women Syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
When you have those, when you're constantly going and
Mhm.
constantly stressed out, you are not balancing those hormones.
No.
You are not, which then causes when your stress is spiked, and that spikes your insulin, and in the
Mhm.
presence of insulin you can't lose
Can't
weight.
lose
If you're
weight.
trying to lose weight, you're not gonna, because you're so
Mhm.
stressed.
Yeah.
And this is one of the biggest reasons why a lot of these clients, like at the beginning that we talked about, the plateaus,
Yeah.
because they're so stressed, they're so concerned about their life,
Mhm.
the ups and the downs.
Mhm.
They're not able to lose weight because they're spiking their insulin all the
Mhm.
time.
Right.
And that imbalanced hormones is going to cause other internal issues,
Mhm. Yeah.
which it's all a domino effect.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is connected, linked together. And when
Yeah.
you don't have that balance, you're I mean, we just talked about the if you are not getting good adequate amount of sleep and you're not
Mhm.
creating the melatonin hormone,
Yeah.
then you're going to wake up with a spiked glucose because it's
Mhm.
trying to make up for what happened at night. You
Yeah.
did
And
not get
then
an adequate
the
amount of sleep.
scale's not gonna move.
Again,
The
yeah,
scale will not move.
right.
Our mindset matters big time. If you let that scale get to you, number one, you're going to quit. Number two, if you let a fake weight loss, take over your life and watching that scale fall and fall and fall, and then when you're off the medication or off the product, you start gaining it back. The mental portion of this is probably 75% of the battle. When
Mm,
we work with clients, the mental side is about 75%. Your mindset will determine what happens on that scale. If you have a negative mindset, just expect not to see that scale move. If you are constantly stressed about that scale, just expect that scale to not move, right? Um, when you ignore the whole mindset process and you ignore the motions. In fact, we just had our podcast drop this morning,
today,
our second one,
Tuesday.
and it was on this very issue. If
Mhm,
you want to catch that, go over to Beyond the Scale Weight Loss and Wellness. Go grab that one. It's about the mindset,
mhm.
because that is 75% of your journey
Yeah,
on any plan that you're on. It's 75%.
and
You believe you can't, or you believe you can. Whichever one you believe is you're correct.
right.
I know how
And
that saying goes.
mine was, it wasn't necessarily that I didn't believe I couldn't do it. It was
Mhm.
more of I waited till later to dive into the mindset of, well, why did I gain the weight in the first place?
Mhm.
What was my issues? And it was a lot, like I had to go track backwards a little
Mhm.
bit to fix that mindset,
Yeah.
of, well, when I was a young mom, I was highly depressed, I
Mhm.
was majorly jealous, I
Mhm.
had all of these internal issues in the mind that I was not fixing. Yes, I
Mhm.
felt great. I was losing weight and I had some joy, but
Mhm.
then I was uncovering those layers of
Yeah.
things that I kept cooping up, and then they started to peak out, because just like when you're, I don't know, when you're dusting the layers off, new things
Yeah.
show up. So
Yeah. Yeah, without a healthy mindset from the beginning of this, it's so easy to fall back into your old patterns and say, well, the scale didn't move anyway. I might as well start tomorrow. I listened to something, or I watched something this morning, or somewhere I ran across this story today. I think it was in one of my Facebook groups that I'm in. Somebody said to me, or said, it wasn't to me, it was just something I read, said, imagine this: you mess up on your diet, like if you're trying to remain sugar free and you mess up and you accidentally eat sugar, what do? Our first tendency is to say, I'll start again tomorrow.
mhm.
instead of correcting the wrong and continuing on. She said, "What would have happened if we did that when it comes to a policeman pulling us over? Well, I messed up today. I better not drive until tomorrow." No, you fix your stuff and you go on. That is how you are successful at it. And that's how you change your mindset.
Yeah.
That's how you win. We were not happy every day that we were losing our 120 pounds.
Right.
We were not happy. I was very upset when the scale didn't move, right?
Right.
But it didn't make me say, well, but I'm going to start tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Well, we
start
have that
tomorrow.
mindset. We have the
Mm-hmm.
mindset of, oh, tomorrow's a new day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I messed up today. Tomorrow's a new day. Well, you know what? We have every second is a new second.
Yeah.
So
Right.
why not turn around?
Yeah.
Because it takes a second to turn around,
Mm-hmm.
some people it doesn't take a second to turn around, but
Well, they get lost.
they might get
Sometimes they get
lost.
lost.
But you turn around in 1 second,
Yeah.
then you're like, boom, back in the game.
Yeah.
Forget it. Forget that you had that piece of chocolate.
Yeah.
Turn around. Okay, we're moving forward.
Yeah. We're just
Boom.
going forward. That's how
Instead of
you
waiting a
win.
whole day.
Yeah. Or if the scale didn't do what you wanted it to do this week, that doesn't mean you quit. That
Right.
means you keep going. That means you look for other things. That means you look for, was I able to tie my shoes this week? Was I able to cross my legs this week? What are the non-scale victories that we have? The non-scale victories are more powerful than any number on that
Mhm.
scale. And the number on the scale. So even when you get to your goal, when you hit 135, and you get to that goal, that is very dangerous because when you hit 135 and that was your goal and that was your plan, when you hit let's say that you hit 136, if you don't have a plan to continue that 135, you're not staying there. You're going to
Right.
start to go back up. It's just a matter of time. I dread, we're starting to see it now, the impact of the GLP-1 medication. We're starting to see the weight come back for all of these poor women who have fallen for this. We're starting to see the weight come back and we're starting to see the consequence of this. I cannot imagine with everybody on it now, I cannot imagine what's going to happen when it
All
all
right.
comes back so quickly.
Well, here's the thing though. I've seen this happen. They've been on it before. They got off it because of
Mhm.
not feeling great
Mhm.
or because it got too expensive.
Mhm.
And then they are like, well, maybe I just did it wrong.
Mhm.
And then they go back.
Back on it.
So it's not a yo-yo diet,
And it doesn't work.
but it's going back to the
Mhm.
same toxic thing that
Yeah.
was making you feel gross. Like
Yeah.
what do you think is going to be different? It's
Yeah.
like you
And
forget.
well, and the bad thing about that, Darcy, is it's like the antibiotics that when they go back on it, your body has built up a resistance to it.
Yeah.
They're calling it the GLP-1 resistance now.
Mm.
So these people who have not gotten control over their food addiction, they've not gotten control over the sugar and carb addiction, they think they're coming back and their body has built up a resistance to GLP-1. That
Mhm.
is really scary stuff.
It's
We're
kind of like Roundup.
exactly. We are messing with a
We are
very
now a
dangerous.
corn
Yeah.
plant that is resistant to Roundup.
Resistant. Yeah.
We will not,
Yeah.
or a weed.
Yeah. So, what we
Goodness.
want to emphasize today is the balanced approach. You've got to do body, mind, and spirit healing.
Mhm.
You've got to do a balanced approach. You've got to deal with the mind. You've got to deal with the body. You've got to do the body thing right.
Yep.
You have got to, um, you've got to get your eyes off of that scale and understand that your body has a natural ebb and flow. You're naturally going to gain 5 pounds in one day. It's just the case,
Yep.
you know? And I know that a lot of people step on the scale first thing in the morning because we don't want to eat anything, right? And they let that number control whether they are successful that day or whether they're not successful, whether they eat sugar that day or whether they don't. When
Mhm.
the scale goes their way, all right, I'm going to be on plan. When the scale doesn't go their way, well, see, it didn't work. We knew it wouldn't work, right?
Yep.
Long term is where you've got to think when it comes to that scale. Allow it to be your coach, not your judge, but your coach.
Mhm.
Some people need it as an accountability. There were times that I wouldn't step on that scale because I didn't want to know. And my highest weight was like the highest one recorded was about 269, 270.
Mm.
I didn't want to know it after that. I didn't step on it after that.
Yeah.
There were years that I didn't step on that scale.
Same.
I needed that accountability.
Yep.
However, if you let that thing be used as a judge, you're going to quit your diet the next day.
Mhm.
You're going to say, "I'm done."
Yep.
So let's talk about some practical tips. What are
Okay.
some of the things that we can do to improve your relationship with food, to improve your relationship with that scale?
Are you waiting for me to respond?
I'm waiting for you. Unless you're over chatting somewhere.
No,
You
I'm
look like you were with me.
I was just waiting for you to say something.
Oh, that's
Because
funny.
usually it's like that.
I
Yeah,
need
anyway,
need the hand gestures.
we're not in sync
We're not in
today.
sync. I don't feel it.
Why?
Did you have your coffee?
I've had 2 cups.
I didn't put cream in mine. So
Oh,
that
see, I
may be
had
my problem.
I mean,
I did bring my coaching cup.
don't let the cream
My friend
determine if you're gonna
Tracy.
have a good coaching day or a bad
I
coaching
know.
day.
No, we're having great coaching. It's communication.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, practical tips.
Yes. Let's talk about
We're talking about
practical.
mindful eating.
Mm-hmm.
When you are mindful eating, I'm trying to picture for my day. Like when
Mm-hmm.
I am waking up in my day, I am
Mm-hmm.
not going to you're sitting and waiting for
I'm
yes,
listening.
yes.
I'm listening.
Planning things out is really important. As
Yes.
much as we don't like to plan
Right.
what we're going to eat, how the day's going, we don't like to plan the things, but yet we do. We plan our day out so they're completely packed.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that our days are mostly completely packed with things to do, that means that we're going to have to prepare what we're going to consume for that day. We
Mm-hmm.
can't just, go with the flow of life and then keep going through I mean, for us at the ballpark, it's easy just to go to the ballpark because we've got a whole bunch of things
Mm-hmm.
to do, and then
Mm-hmm.
every single time we do that, we go through a drive-through
Mm-hmm.
because that's what we have
Yeah.
time for.
Right.
When we are mindfully preparing for our day,
Mm-hmm.
we can say, okay, this is what we're going to do with food. This is how we're going to plan for it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just go and grab whatever because it's quick and easy.
Mm-hmm.
That would be an example for me. This helps you build a healthy relationship with food.
Well, you don't do that with your boys.
Well, no.
You don't just fly by. Well, sometimes I did actually.
Sometimes,
But you at least look at their schedule, because if you didn't, they might miss some practices. Or
right.
they might, so
Exactly.
you do the same for your boys, you do the same for your husband,
Yes.
for your entire family. Why would we not do the same for us with what we're going to
Exactly.
eat?
And that's the thing, that we put those people in our life first,
Mm-hmm.
but we can't put ourselves first
Right.
for some reason, even though we are. And it's different in every household. The dad
Mm-hmm.
might be the one who is the organizer and
Right.
let's get you here and there and putting everybody first. So I'm not just
Right.
saying all moms put others
Right.
first, but
No, it's
just the
across the
fact
board.
that when we are so focused on making sure that everybody else is where they need to be and then we're last, then we eat the leftovers.
Right.
And the leftovers are usually the stale, gross,
Mm-hmm.
preservative filled garbage.
Right.
That's what happens.
Right. Yeah.
So
plan a couple of minutes ahead.
mhm.
There's some clients
Yeah.
that I'm like, just give me a couple minutes ahead.
Yeah.
You're getting ready for a meeting. What are you taking with you to that meeting? What are they going
Right.
to have there? Don't
You
ever be prepared or don't ever be caught unprepared.
and I remember, and you haven't done this very often lately, I'm just saying.
Okay.
You don't talk about the handbag. Get yourself a cute
Oh
handbag.
yeah, the
Maybe
cute
because you
purse.
don't carry one anymore.
I know, because of this. This is the only way I'm trusted to go
Nobody can
outside.
fit a snack in there.
No.
Don't get yourself a cute phone. Get yourself a cute handbag. Guys, the strap things, those guys wear those.
The man
Those
bags.
the man bags. Get yourself a man
Or
bag.
throw your stuff in your wife's purse.
Or that, and just always be prepared in any situation, knowing. And we also have a tool that we tend to push towards. If you are educated in the fasting, if you're not, then don't do this. But if you're educated in
Yeah.
the fasting world, then we encourage, like, if you're going to the airport that day and you're going to be traveling, use that opportunity to take, you not necessarily have to eat, just
Right.
fast until
I think
you're able.
I think that's why I don't prepare so much and I don't need my purse anymore. It's because I've just gotten used to the fact that I don't need to eat. I'm not
Oh,
pressured by anybody
right,
to eat
right,
anymore. If I'm not worried about hurting people's feelings if I'm not
right,
eating their food. So
right.
that's what we did at the convention last week. We just went without because
Until
there
you
was
got to
nothing.
my house. You're
Yeah.
like, "Ah."
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, and the other factor is, along with the mindful eating, is you've got to get rid of your stress, guys. You have got to be willing to
Yeah.
divorce your stress. And I'm talking about the things that can be done. I'm talking about the things that you don't have to carry some of this stuff. We carry things, I think, as martyrs
Mhm.
sometimes. We think that we are the saviors to the world and we've got to do everything on our shoulders, on our time. And just because we've got to save the world, you don't.
Right.
You don't have to save the world. You have got to put your life jacket on first. You've got to put your face mask on first because when everything goes bad and everything goes downhill, you have got to be healthy enough to save your family. And if you're not, then your whole family's gone.
Yeah.
So get rid of the stress. Find some techniques to get rid of or manage stress. Use your no muscle. Hey, that's our podcast
I
theme. I
know.
know that one.
I just I felt like we needed to use that today.
I like it. I like it.
I got to thinking it's kind of a gruesome thought.
Mhm. Mm.
It's kind of a dark thought,
Mhm.
but I think about, if I'm getting overly asked
Mhm.
about, hey, can you volunteer for this? Can you do
Mhm.
this? Can you do that? Can you be here for this? I think about, if I weren't here,
Mhm.
they would probably go to somebody else.
Mhm.
And that's
Yeah.
a fact. If I weren't here, there's no option to ask me.
Right.
That's kind of where the word no fits in. Like,
Mhm.
no, I knowing what your boundaries are, what your balance is,
Mhm.
how you're feeling in your heart, like the anxiety that if it's building and
Mhm.
you're saying, "Oh, sure, I can do that. I'll fit it in there somewhere."
Mhm.
The quality of your performance is probably going to be
Right.
pretty poor because you're just going to be there, show up, and then move to the next thing. You're
Right.
not going to even be invested into it, but you are you are not even allowing other people that don't normally volunteer
Mhm.
even the opportunity to volunteer. You're
That's
taking it
true.
on for yourself, and you're not giving the opportunity for those other people to
That's
to
true.
take to stand up and be like, oh yeah, sure,
Yeah.
I don't have anything on my schedule.
Right. Right.
God created a bunch of us to be able to work as a team. It's
Yeah.
not a one team, one person. Let's
Yeah.
be the queen of this team. Like
Yeah.
that is the community of a team is to
Yeah.
balance the workload out so we're not feeling overly stressed. But
Mhm.
for some reason, we think that we're the sole um,
Mhm.
teammate and the
Yeah.
only one that is going to do it right. Well,
Yeah.
if you're thinking that you're the only one that's going to do it right, then you've got a pride problem.
Exactly. That is so true. That is so true.
That was a
Yeah.
hard
I
truth,
never
but
thought I never thought of that. You could be stealing someone else's job, you know?
absolutely.
Somebody who had been really good at it. You could have been taking their position and they just sat back because you're saying yes all the
Yeah.
time. And in the meantime, your scale is not falling, you're not losing weight, you're stressed out to the max. You're looking at those other people who are losing weight and thinking that they're doing it the right way when all they're doing is medicating their problem because they're doing the same thing you are,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's a vicious circle. So number 1, stop obsessing over the scale. Number 2, lose weight the right way. If you have 50 to 100 pounds to lose, cut out a year of your life. If you do it any faster than that, that weight is coming raging back. And we are talking from experience. We're talking about women who have lost our weight and kept it off for 7 years. Our journey did not begin until the day that we hit that magical number on the scale. That's when it began. And if you don't deal with your food addiction and if you don't deal with your carb and sugar addiction before you lose the weight, it's coming right back. And that just makes me sad
Mhm.
because we're living in this space right now of pure joy at this point because we figured it out. We figured out how to eat and how to live. Don't do it quick and don't focus on the dang scale. If you need the scale for accountability, by the way, if you haven't stepped on the scale because you're afraid of it, go step on it. Find out where you are. You got to know where you are
Yeah.
if you want to know where you want to go. Get it
Yeah.
over with.
Yep.
Step on
Yep.
that scale, figure out where you are. But if you are obsessed with that scale on a weight loss journey, get rid of it.
Mhm.
Go buy your clothes. Get a clothes that a piece of an outfit, a pair of shorts, something a size smaller than you are. Put it at the back of your door so you look at it every day. Try it on every once in a while. That's how you'll tell if you're successful.
Right. Can I add one?
Yes.
Okay. So you talked about the long-term lifestyle and when you hit goal.
Mm-hmm.
When you hit goal, you're going to need to work on, if you don't have a growth mindset of
Mm-hmm.
things that you can continually grow
Mm-hmm.
in, and improve. It's not necessarily about the scale. You need to probably start working on that
Yeah.
at the very beginning of your journey
Oh
of,
yeah.
okay, how can I improve? What can I improve? That's
Yeah.
not about my weight, because when you fix your lifestyle, the weight will typically follow
Mm-hmm.
when you're doing the balance that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to just be a given. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
once you fix that lifestyle, it's just going to be a given. It's just going
Mm-hmm.
to naturally fall when you're doing
Yeah.
things correctly.
Yeah. That is
But
so true.
you've got to be able to have yourself a mindset. Like for me, we talked about our whys last night. And for me, one of my whys and my long-term lifestyle goal is, I'm going to be that 84-year-old, maybe even a 90-plus-year-old woman that's doing a mud run with her family,
Mm-hmm.
and taking all those challenges on, getting in the mud because I can. I'm not in
Mm-hmm.
a wheelchair, God willing,
Mm-hmm.
and I am, because I'm taking care of my health style.
Right.
That is what my goal is. So
Yeah.
whatever it's going to take from now until then, I'm
Let's
going to
do it.
work on it.
So funny.
If it's diving into the toxins, that might be it.
Do it.
I don't know. Do it.
Yeah. It's
Whatever it
funny.
is.
You and I are about to close the show, and we just got on the same wavelength. Like,
Oh, did we?
yeah, we did, because
It,
I literally had this piece of paper in my hand, and this piece of paper was my notes
oh.
from last night. We have a weight loss support group, and one of the things that we asked them was, we need to talk about your why.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to just read some of these out loud. No names with them. One person said, I don't want to die early. I want to be off insulin. I want to be off my meds. One person said, I missed out on 20 years with my kids. Another person said, I want to be held accountable. Somebody somewhere is waiting for what I have to give, and I can't do it in my health.
Mm.
I want to prevent cancer. I want to prevent Alzheimer's. I want to stay active. I want to get rid of the pain. I want to have fun. I loved that one.
Yeah.
I want to have fun. Yeah. These were things that people were like, this is why I chose coaching. This is why I'm doing this, and they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So what we had them do last night is we had them reevaluate their why, because your why may change. Your why may be one thing, you may want to lose weight at first, but then you realize, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I missed 20 years with my kids. Y'all, I missed 25 years with my kids. And I know there's no that people say, well, you can't live with regret. Well, I do. I do, because I could not run on the playground with my kids. I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do that I can do with my grandkids now. And that wasn't fair to them. And they're okay with it. They're okay with me. They love my life now, but I do live with regret.
But that
So,
fuels
oh, it fuels
your
me.
future.
Fuels
So
me.
you might be able
Mhm.
to regret those things in the past. I
Mhm.
regret certain years in my life that I lived like I
Mhm.
did,
Yeah.
but that just fuels my
Mhm.
future.
Yeah. I have a driving passion to wake up every morning and work with people every day
Mm-hmm.
like we do.
Right.
Because if I save one person from having to miss time with their kids, then it's all worth the career change. It's all worth everything. So a lot of people, most people can't do it alone. There's a very few, stubborn people that can do it on their own, but most people can't do it on their own, because what happens is they take a look at that scale. And we have been told time and time again, had you not talked me off the ledge, I would have binged. I would have done this. So if you are struggling, if you need help, don't wait. Worst thing I ever did was wait.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wait to change your life. Leave the products. You don't need a single stinking product to lose weight. You just need
Nope.
real food. You don't need a shot. You don't need a pill. You don't need any magical cure. Let me tell you something. There is no such thing as a carb burner pill. Y'all,
Mm-hmm.
there's no such thing. There's no such thing as a magical ketone. So there's even crooks in the ketosis world.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a magical fat burner pill. Period. That's a scam. Don't fall
Synthetic.
for that. Plus, I know how expensive they are. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's my office looks like it's filled with smoke. Is it funny? Does it look
It,
like
do- it
it's
does.
blurry?
That's why I commented on it at the
It's
very
like
beginning.
church.
And that was a very squirrel. You got the haze machine.
It's like church and the smoke machines.
Yes.
Sorry. Had to get that one in
Squirrel.
there. Oh my gosh. That's funny. I have stories behind that story, but I
Mm-hmm.
won't tell them.
Mm-hmm.
I won't tell them those
I feel
stories.
like you already have.
I have. I love my church.
Yeah.
Love them. So, final words.
Final words.
Don't give up, guys.
No.
Throw the scale away. If it's messing with your mind, go grab a coach's hand. Our website is kmhealthcoaching.org.
You can even
You-
chat with us,
Yeah.
even during a live.
In the middle of a live, you can. I've never had fear before when doing a show with you. I know you so well right now. I can toss you any conversation at any time. That was not tossable. And I'm like, what the heck am I going to do? She is not with me. We're not leaving.
I was there. It just took me a minute. She needed my help.
That's hilarious. Hey, we just dropped our link in the comment section below.
Go there and
Find
you can
Coach
contact me
Darcy's
right now.
website. She's got all of her programs. We're going to launch a new program in
Oh,
July.
I'm so excited about it.
Built on hormones.
Yes.
And that one is going to have a waiting list. So if you are interested in that one is not cheap.
Nope.
I'm just going to tell people it's an investment because it is so life-changing and it is such an intensive program. So yeah, we're going to launch that in July. It's almost July, almost 5 days. In the middle of July.
I was going to say, what time in July?
I got some finishing touches for that program. So this is, oh my gosh, Jackie.
Definitely.
You're breaking my heart, Jackie. Please don't take metformin.
No,
oh my gosh, please don't. You fix insulin resistance by removing sugar and removing carbs. That is the number one reason for all of the metabolic diseases is insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is 100% reversible by food. Do not take metformin. You will get sick. You get rid of insulin resistance by going low carb, zero sugar, zero seed oils, and low carb.
Yeah.
That's the first
Metformin's
thing
like a Band-Aid.
Oh my gosh.
And Band-Aids don't fix the wound.
Yeah. And thank you for refusing that because that is we don't have time for another soapbox, but you can heal it naturally.
Yeah.
Stop the sugar, stop the carbs. Stop those things and you're going to find your inflammation reverse, you're going to find insulin resistance reverse. Now, just so you know, in my journey, so insulin resistance is when you have the tire around your middle, you have some skin tags, you've got dark marks around your skin. And it's the foundation for PCOS, for type 2 diabetes.
Type
when
3.
you have insulin resistance, it's about a 10-year precursor to diabetes. And so when you heal this is such a massive thing that you're healing. Sometimes it can take 18 months. That's the last thing. My tire around my middle was the last thing to go. And so you've got to be patient. You got to be consistent, but you can 100% reverse insulin resistance. And that reverses PCOS, reverses diabetes, high blood pressure. All of those metabolic things are based around insulin resistance. Infertility, insulin resistance. Totally. Good job. Good job for refusing.
Absolutely.
You can totally reverse that. Most of our people, by the way, you heard the numbers last night with one of the clients. Most people can reverse their type 2 diabetes within weeks. Like they're off medication within weeks.
Right.
Insulin resistance is that's like the deep to the gut kind of thing.
The fatty livers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely reversible.
Yeah.
So good question.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. One more. I'm always late to the party. Yeah, we got kind of fired up today, Amanda. We tried really
we were
hard not
1
to.
minute late.
We were actually 1 minute late because we were fixing a world problem. I don't
Yes,
remember what it was, but we fixed it.
kind of.
If you have not checked out our podcast, go to Beyond the Scale, Weight Loss and Wellness. We just
Yeah.
dropped a brand new one today. Check out what we have to say over there. You can find help for most anything. And also, let us know what you want us to talk about.
Mhm.
We do it
Topics are
all.
great.
Yeah. All right. We're here every Tuesday morning at 11 a.m.
Not 11:01.
Not
but
11. Today it was
except for today.
11:01. We are here every Tuesday morning.
Listen, I got confused. I got
Yeah.
confused on where we normally do these things today.
Because you were answering that email.
Well, no, because I put cream in my coffee. I don't normally put cream in my coffee.
And mine, you normally
We
I
swapped
always have cream
places.
in my, but that's why we have been off all morning.
Oh my gosh.
But that lady needs you to go back and talk to her.
Well, she's done now. Like she left.
She got mad, left. Oh my gosh. Y'all, you have an amazing rest of your day. Let us know if we can help you in any way. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Monica here. Guess what? If you're fed up with feeling stuck in your battle with weight or food, I've got something just for you. Check out our free Facebook groups. Over at Food Addiction and Recovery, I'm over there waiting for you. We're going to walk this journey together. It's about getting real, sharing our stories, and lifting each other up. We're in this together every step of the way. And if you're curious about changing your life with keto, the Weight Loss Project is where you want to be. Coach Darcy is amazing. And together, we're not just talking about losing weight. We're talking about finding a happier, healthier you. So, what do you say? Are you ready to join us? The links are in the show notes below, and I'm telling you, this is more than an invite. It is the start of something great.